This is the brief on the contentious divorce case involving Aaron Pfeifers and Denise Richards. The first update we have today is on the ongoing legal battle. So, you know Aaron Pfeifers filed for divorce earlier this year, right? And he's asking for spousal support. Well, things have really escalated. It's turned into this explosive fight with some pretty serious accusations coming from both sides. Denise has alleged physical abuse, while Aaron claims she has a Vicodin addiction. Honestly, it seems like it's becoming a full-on battle over Denise's character, way beyond just the finances. Now, Aaron's legal team, they're planning to call some familiar faces as witnesses to challenge her credibility. We're talking about her ex-husband, Charlie Sheen, and also Brandi Glanville. The lawyers are suggesting they can speak to Denise's alleged history of not being truthful and of drug and alcohol abuse. Brandi, specifically, is expected to testify about Denise's credibility and what Aaron calls her manipulative moves. He even stated that Glanville is not a liar. And Aaron's not stopping there. He plans to have his own family members testify to counter Denise's allegations and talk about her supposed violence, like apparently breaking his phone and even trespassing in family members' rooms. There's also talk they might depose Denise and her father about possibly violating court orders related to handling assets, trying to sell or move shared property. All this legal drama is apparently taking a huge financial toll on Denise. Sources are saying she's already spent many tens of thousands on lawyers, and it's really bleeding her dry. But even though Aaron supposedly has a strong case for spousal support, word is Denise is refusing mediation and is determined not to give in to Aaron's demands. Before we get into the next update, I need to check in with you all. If you're enjoying our little tea session, take a millisecond to hit the like button and subscribe to join the best reality TV community on YouTube. Done? Let's move on to next update now. And next we are going to talk about Lala Kent recalling a shocking drunken fight with her ex-fiancé, Randall Emmett. Okay, so this intense story actually comes from Lala's 2022 memoir, Give Them Lala. There's a clip circulating from the audiobook, and wow, it depicts this really destructive fight she had with Randall Emmett in Atlanta. Now, this happened years before they actually broke up in October 2021, but it definitely illuminates some things about their relationship back then. Lala clarifies the night kicked off at a strip club, but things went south pretty fast because she'd had way too much to drink. She even says she was, quote, too drunk to remember how they started, calling that kind of the running theme of their fights. The chaos really picked up on the way back to their hotel. She apparently threw her phone at Randall. A bouncer later found it and contacted her mom, believe it or not. Back in their hotel room, like way up on the 17th floor, the arguing just kept raging. Lala actually threw Randall's wallet right off the balcony. Then she escalated things even more, took his duffel bag, chucked it in the bathtub, and turned on the water, soaking everything. She describes slipping on the wet floor while pulling the drenched bag out, cutting and bruising her knee, and then she heaved the soaked bag and even his shoes, tossing them all 17 stories down off the balcony. Can you imagine? The whole explosive scene only stopped when there was a knock at the door and someone said, "Open up, police." Now remember, this all happened before Lala got sober back in 2018, and of course, they eventually split up after claims came out about Randall cheating just months after their daughter, Ocean, was born. So this was today's update about Lala Kent's shocking fight with Randall Emmett. Let's now move on to next update.
Next, we are going to talk about Lisa Barlow's recent Watch What Happens live appearance. The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City star was on Andy Cohen's show, and she really didn't hold back. She tackled all that ongoing drama, the lawsuits, and those pretty intense cast comparisons head on. So first off, she directly addressed Bronwyn Whooport's hostility. Lisa basically called the attacks totally retaliation because Lisa had called Bronwyn out for, apparently lying about that $4 million necklace claim she made. Then things got pretty serious. Lisa talked about Angie Katzenevas comparing her to Jen Shah. She straight up called that comparison defamatory. And she made it really clear there's a huge difference between her situation, which involves civil allegations, and Jen Shah's, which, as we know, involved criminal charges and prison time. To really drive the point home, Lisa actually brought poster boards, showing her court records, proving that her words, all the lawsuits are dismissed but one, complete with a judge's stamp. She felt it was a bit of a gang up from Bronwyn, Angie, and Whitney Rose. Lisa also stood by her comments about having a different life, saying she was standing on business and doing big things way before the show even started. She also mentioned Meredith Marks was actually a great friend during that camping trip, and she appreciated Brittany Bateman defending her, even suggesting they were like sisters. Oh, and about that viral smoky eye look from her confessional, she explained it was just an unintentional, kind of K-pop-ish makeup mishap and confirmed her glam team is working on a redo. Phew. So this was today's update about Lisa Barlow's WWHL appearance and her response to the RHOSLC drama. Let's now move on to next up.
Next, we're going to talk about the heartbreaking update shared by reality star Brittany Cartwright concerning a severe fire at her family's Kentucky farm. So Brittany Cartwright, who, is expected to be back for The Valley Season 3, she actually took to Instagram on September 28th to share some really tough news about a big fire at her family's place, Turner Farm. It's this huge 400-acre property in Kentucky. Brittany shared some footage that her mom, Sherry Cartwright, posted, and oh my gosh, it shows that the fire completely destroyed what she called Pawpaw's last barn on the farm. This barn, it apparently held a lot of sentimental value for the family. You might even remember seeing it back on that 2017 show, Vanderpump Rules, Jackson Brittany Take Kentucky. And what makes it even tougher is that the other barn they had was already destroyed years ago in a bad storm, so this was the last one standing. Her mom, Sherry, confirmed the barn just burnt down incredibly fast. And while the fire department was there, they're still not sure exactly what caused it. But here's the most important thing, really the best news possible in this situation. Nobody was hurt, and all the animals are safe. Sherry mentioned she'd actually let the horses out that morning before church, which, wow, thank goodness for that timing, right? Sherry also confirmed the fire did do some damage to her sister's house nearby, though it seems like it wasn't severe enough to make the house unlivable. Still, as Brittany put it, the whole event is just heartbreaking. So this was today's update about Brittany Cartwright's family farm fire. Let's now move on to next update. Okay, next we are going to talk about the ongoing drama involving the Real Housewives of Miami's Marysol Patton and claims she hired a private investigator. So Marysol, she's directly hitting back at these allegations that she hired a PI to follow her former co-star, Dr. Nicole Martin. This whole thing kind of flared up again because of Marysol's ongoing feud with Adriana Demora. Adriana recently threw it out there that Marysol might have been the one who hired the investigator. Well, that led to a fan asking Marysol point blank online, like, did you put a PI on Dr. Nicole? And Marysol, she totally clapped back. Her big defense is basically, hey, when Nicole first talked about being followed, she never mentioned me by name. Interesting, right? Now let's rewind a sec. Nicole originally brought up these stalking claims way back in July on her podcast, Scrubs to Stilettos. She explained how a castmate apparently confessed that another castmate hired the PI, and the motive? This person supposedly really wanted to move up from just being a friend on the show to having a full-time role. Yeah, they thought having the secret bomb about Nicole would help them level up her friend status. Nicole even shared that this whole situation was a big reason she started feeling super anxious during filming. Now, even though Nicole didn't name anyone specifically, think about it. Marysol, Adriana, and Kiki Barth are really the only ones who've been in that friend role in recent seasons. So it kind of narrows down who might have been trying to snag that full-time spot, doesn't it? And this is all heating up right before the 3-part Season 7 reunion starts this Thursday, October 2nd. Perfect timing, eh? So this was today's update about Marysol Patton's PI controversy. Let's now move on to next update. Next, we are going to talk about radio host Kiki Monique and her, direct clarification on that whole dramatic Roofie rumor mess involving Tamra Judge and Gretchen Rossi on The Real Housewives of Orange County. So, this all kicked off when Tamra claimed on RHOC that some reliable journalist told her Gretchen accused Tamra of drugging her way back when. Things got really messy when Tamra later said, hey, it was actually Scheana who started it, passing the rumor to Kiki Monique. Scheana, of course, denied it, suggesting Tamra was scheming. But now Kiki Monique is setting the record straight. She totally shut down any idea that she or Scheana fooled anyone. Kiki was super clear, Scheana did absolutely nothing. Zero. Kiki then kind of maps out the real story. She clarifies that Katie Janella told her the accusation at lunch. Kiki later confirmed this on camera, right? Then Kiki went and fact-checked it off the record with Dave Quinn, and this is key. It was Dave Quinn who ended up telling Tamra, and that's how Tamra brought it up on the show. Now remember, Tamra had already kind of singled out Scheana on Watch What Happens Live, claiming Scheana made up the rumor because she's trying so hard to get on Orange County. Kiki's basically saying, look, her story hasn't changed. She's been consistent through all this. And just as a side note, remember that lie detector test? It suggested Katie wasn't exactly truthful about the Gretchen stuff, although Katie herself has sort of hinted she felt set up with that polygraph. So this was today's update about the clarified RHOC rumor chain. Let's now move on to next up.
Next, we are going to talk about Real Housewives of Orange County alum Lynne Curtin and, well, some new details she just shared regarding that infamous naked wasted dinner party. She's also addressing a key rumor and giving her take on the show's current drama. So Lynne, she was on seasons 4 and 5. She was recently chatting on Vicki Gunvalson's podcast. In the conversation, it went right back to that years-old naked wasted dinner party. Specifically a rumor that Gretchen Rossi supposedly claimed Tamra Judge drugged her, something Gretchen herself has denied saying, by the way. Lynne really clarifies the whole situation. She mentioned talking to Tamra about it all. Her take? Well, she believes Gretchen did do drugs because, as Lynne puts it, alcohol is a drug, kind of implying Gretchen drugged herself. Both she and Vicki, who was also there, they confirmed, look, nobody drugged Gretchen, at least not that they saw. And get this, Lynne shared some new details. She said she and her partner Frank, they were actually sober that night and even offered to drive Gretchen home. But instead, Gretchen ended up spending the night at Tamra's house. That's a detail even Vicki admitted she didn't know. Lynne added she really wishes the cast would just move on, calling the whole thing ancient history. She then kind of went off on the current state of the series, saying the show now depicts just manufactured drama, and added that none of her girlfriends act like that. When asked about maybe coming back, Lynne said she was more guarded before, trying to be a lady while her mother was still alive. But now, she indicates she'd be way less restrained and would definitely give them a little more peace of her mind. So this was today's update about the Real Housewives of Orange County's naked wasted controversy. Let's now move on to next update.
Next, we are going to talk about the recent drama surrounding Stephanie Shah and Marysol Patton from the Real Housewives of Miami. Okay, so, this whole thing really stems from that fallout over the wretched versus ratchet comments, remember? The stuff that kind of blew up during the RHOM after show. Basically, what happened was Marysol told Adriana she should maybe use the word wretched when talking about Kiki Barth, right? Instead of ratchet. But then, Marysol apparently turned right around and used that advice against Adriana. Yeah, it's caused some major rifts. Stephanie Shah, well, she didn't mince words at all. She called Marysol's moves so dirty. Stephanie's point was you just don't help someone figure out a plan to get out of trouble and then immediately, throw them under the bus and stomp on them. And Stephanie went even further, saying this whole thing just illuminates that Marysol is a master manipulator. She even said she thinks Marysol's been manipulating Alexia Netpola this whole time too. Wow. All right, so Marysol's side, she did admit giving Adriana that advice was the wrong thing to do. And yeah, she said she was being selfish. But she totally denied being a master manipulator. She was like, how could I manipulate Adriana? I barely even talked to her. Marysol insists the drama didn't blow back on her. It actually came back to bite Adriana in the ass. She also thinks Adriana has this deep hate for her that keeps her up at night. So yeah, the cast is pretty divided. Larsa Pippen's defending Marysol, kind of saying Marysol just showed her cards because she realized Adriana wasn't going to change. But then Alexia Netpola, she suspects Adriana's just jealous, saying Adriana only comes after you when you're shining and you're happy because Marysol has everything Adriana wants. Whew, it's messy, and it's all leading up to that 3-part reunion starting Thursday. So this was today's update about the